heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity.
Arise, my people, arise, my people.
With love and strength and faith.
From about to go be down to Bedford. From Warri to Lagos.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigerians call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith.
The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, in freedom, in freedom, peace and unity.
Arise, my people, arise, my people.
With love and strength and faith.
With all our hearts and minds, we from about to go be down to Bedford. From Warri to Lagos.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You're laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. This by the end of the year. How are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your on your geographical location. Thanks for joining me this evening for this wonderful broadcast. As you can see the headings, we are all Biafrans. I know some of you will be saying, "No, I am not Biafrans," but we are all Biafrans in the context of the the context of the nation, the intellectual argument presented by Achebe and the rest of and the rest of his folks that wrote the book. He wrote the book. There was a country, a personal history of Biafra by Achebe, and I got this book and I started to read it, and I came across an interesting statement that they made. I'm trying to put it up here for us to be able to read it. Is the intellectual foundation of the Biafra of Biafra, which is I'll put it out there. So here it is. It's quite an interesting when I came across it. Here it is. The intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra, a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens. Ife, can you read that? Hello? Are you there? You're muted.
The intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra, a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens.
Do you agree with that?
I have a question mark. And the reason being that the guest we had yesterday, somebody asked a question regarding whether we are actually practicing democracy. And that was a very interesting question. So everything lies in the hands of the citizens. But is that so in Nigeria, or is that so as a Biafra? We don't even have Biafra anyway. So why should we even be talking about that? It's something that is not in existence. It's in our mouth, but there is no country called Biafra. So I don't even know how to address this question speaking. But you know that you know that I have always campaigned for us to go our separate way. Because this country contraption, called Nigeria, is not working. So it doesn't make no sense, to say that a country like that, like Madam Luke said yesterday, I haven't benefited anything from that country. I can't tell you anything that you can say that the government is doing for the citizens. Nothing. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused with all this. I don't know, honestly. Biafra is not in existence. I don't know.
It's not in existence, but the premise in which Biafra, the foundation is this: a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens. So hypothetically, let's just argue that Biafra exists. Hypothetically, this is what the premise to which Biafra is what is to be built upon. And this is the same premise to which we are seeking for in the current Nigerian that we have now. Am I wrong in that?
But I mean, when you say the supreme power rests with the citizens, does it actually, even in the country where we live?
No, I agree with you. It does not exist. I mean, we don't have it in Nigeria. But like I said, hypothetically, let's hypothetically create, or that we have a Biafra nation.
You're trying to make me look delusional. That I'm not delusional.
No. Look at the topic. We are all Biafrans. So you see, there's no point we fight each other. Because this is the thing we all are seeking for. Biafra is not an ethnicity idea or tribal ideology. No, it is this, a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizen. So I started to wonder, how did they turn it into an ethnic or a tribal thing is what I don't understand. That's why I say the intellectual foundation of the Republic of intellectual foundation, not sentimental. So if the go ahead.
I think it's just because a group of people, decided to leave the country. I think it comes up, if I may say, but I don't know. But this issue of Biafra, let me just move a little bit. We are talking about this Biafra. Biafra is because the country is not working for us. And that's why everybody is asking to go their separate way. Trust me, if Nigeria is working, Madam Luke said a lot yesterday. I don't know if you were able to listen. And she said the Nigeria she knew growing up is no longer the same Nigeria she knows today. The Nigeria she knew growing up is the Nigeria we have, running tap water. And I said the same thing to her. I remember when you had to go downstairs, turn the water, tap water, and the fresh water. We no longer have that. We no longer have night post your letters. We don't have that. I can't remember anything, I have growing up that is still in existence today. Businesses. So I don't know when a group of people are asking to leave the country called Nigeria. I mean, that's the name they gave it. Honestly, just like asking, just like Ari was asking, it's just because things are not working. So they just want to get out of the option because that's what it is. Because Nigeria is not a country, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's a country, explain to me how that is a country. Look at what is trending all over the social media. VDM is trending just because he exposed the corruption going on in the system in a country of 200 million people. One person is shaking the whole country. Just one. A 30-year-old man is shaking the whole country. Everybody's running. He's currently in the House of Reps, challenging them. And they were all there looking stupid. Guy who is not educated, but even me, I've learned so much from listening to him. Very intelligent, very smart. I mean, that tells you don't have to go to school in order for you to even, be very intelligent and very smart. So it doesn't make no sense. Again, okay. Like you said, in the rest in the body of the citizen, it's just a group of people who are asking to be, to set free, so that they can be on their own. That is what I can make.
Okay, Ify, I want this comments you are seeing on the screen there now. That is my desire as well too. So I belong to those group of people as well too, and I believe you also belong to the group of people as well. Would that be correct?
Yes, I've said it so many times.
So going by the statement and the topic, I am a Biafran. You are a Biafran. So we are all Biafran. So we all want the same thing. We don't want different things. We all want the same thing. So if Nigeria is not working, this is my argument. If Nigeria is not working, why can't every one of us, regardless of what tribe you are affiliated to, this is what I want. So I should pitch my tent with the Biafrans because I want a Biafra nation where my right, where the power based by the definition of democracy rests on us citizens. So why do we now make it an ethnic thing or a tribal thing? If I am a Biafran, you are a Biafran. So why did we make it an ethnic thing, a tribal thing?
Mind you, just again, I keep referencing to Luke. 20 years ago, we were not talking about the Yoruba peoples, the Hausas, the Yorubas. We're talking about Nigeria as a whole. But because of the corrupt leaders that we have presently today, they are the people, because we have power to divide us. That's why we are so divided in that country now. And everybody's kind of fed up and wants to leave. So, I mean, it's not trying to find the right word to use. It's not that we want to be divided. Trust me, if you ask average Nigeria, they will tell you they want to stay united. Unfortunately, because of the corruption and the present government, or even the past leaders, let me not say the present government, because this thing started since our independence in 1960. Or rather, it started by Lord Lugard, who, came here and forcefully joined all of us together in 1914. And that is what we are paying the price up until today. We have not been liberated, from us. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you. I know this Lord Lugard thing. I don't know who is pushing this that theory of Lord Lugard thing, but let's try to focus on what is on the screen there. You and I just agree that I am a Biafra. You are a Biafra. Welcome, Mama Icho. Do you have anything to weigh in on what is on the screen there, please, Mama Icho?
Good afternoon, Mama Icho.
1 minute 9 seconds of 2 hour muting.
Sorry, I had to put down the volume of my TV. Greetings to you, electricity, and greetings to you, sweet Ife. I came in because of this topic, because I want some clarification. And electricity, you have raised some of it. When Biafra started, some of the majority group were not included. And I remember when Nnamdi Kanu was drawing up a map, he included us. But when I look at the messages they are singing in the Biafra forum, it indicates Biafra only belongs to the Igbos. From everything they say, from the way they are doing things, and it cannot give me a kind of thought. And the thought is, we are saying Nigeria has oppressors. But from the languages I'm hearing in the present Biafra, is already indicating that those of us that doesn't speak Igbo, we will still suffer the same thing when we move with them. Because I'm seeing the voice of domineering. That's what they are portraying. And it cannot seek me as a person. And it can also seek other population that belongs to this current Biafra that are not voicing out. So my question is this. If we will move in with the Biafra, the current one, and they're going to dominate me and my people the same way, then I ask myself, what is the point of living Nigeria?
What do you mean by they're going to dominate you, please, if you don't mind me asking that question?
Because if you look at the activities and everything, the body language, the voices you hear, the way they carry it as if it is already Igbos that belong to that group, is enough for you to know that, you know what? Biafra belongs to the Igbos and not to that tribe that they are carrying along.
Okay.
And to me, that is deception.
Okay. Yeah, it is deception. I agree with you on that. But based on this statement now, we're here to correct, when I say we're correcting that impression that has been given over time, which I recommend for everyone to get the book titled There Was a Country, A Personal History of Biafra, written by Chinua Achebe, which states there that intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra is a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens, which we experience, which we are seeing in Nigeria, that the citizens don't have that power, or we don't recognize our power. We do have this power, but we don't recognize it and to exercise it. So therefore, the issue of Biafra, it is from what, I mean, anybody can come and disagree with me. The issue of Biafra, based on this intellectual foundation, not sentimental foundation, not religious foundation, not tribal foundation, intellectual foundation, is for everyone and anyone who believe that the power belongs to the people, just the same way we're fighting in Nigeria. That is that impression we need to correct so that Nigeria is not working.
The truth is this.
Hold on 1 second, please. I'm coming. The power that be don't recognize the citizens. So it is high time for every one of us to come together and move. Okay, it is some few individuals, my opinion, that have created this notion that Biafra is a tribal or ethnic thing. But upon reading the book, go ahead. You want to speak?
Yeah, but the thing is this. Let's ask ourselves a question. And the question is, why are we agitating for Yoruba nation? Why are we agitating for Arewa? Why are we agitating for Biafra?
Your volume, you're not coming across. I think there's something wrong.
Can you hear me now?
It's kind of cracking, please. It's kind of cracking, if you don't.
My voice is crackle.
I'm not sure it's your voice. I think it's your microphone or it's your system.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but okay, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. So my question is, why are we really advocating?
Can
you guys hear me?
Hold on. Can you guys hear Mama Ichu very well? Because I'm not sure if it's from my hand or from her hand.
Can you hear me?
Anyway, can you hear her very well?
Oh, yes, so I can hear her. Yes, it's good.
Okay, so that is from my hand.
My question in this is this. Why are we agitating as Biafra? Why are we agitating as Arewa? Why are we agitating as Yoruba nation? Is it not because the power is not in the hand of the people? Is it not because injustice is meted to the oppressed group? And the question is, don't we have oppressed group in the Arewa nation? Don't we have oppressed group in the Biafra nation? Don't we have oppressed group in the Yoruba nation? And don't we have oppressors in Yoruba nation? Don't we have the same in Arewa? And don't we have the same in Biafra? Because these are the group that comprises the current Nigeria we are talking about. And when I look at, I find out that we have this category of people in all these regions. So what is now our real problem? Our real problem is a battle between the oppressed and the oppressors. So to me, the first battle we have to fight is to deliver the oppressed from the hands of the oppressors. And that is my mission. And that is what I'm fighting right now. And that is what Mongo Charity Organization is fighting. And the truth is that we have to win that battle first. Then we can now put people in place that is going to allow us to have a constitution that is inclusive, where we can now state our way forward and be able to have in that constitution a room for referendum, so that if we now give the power to the people, that is why I tell you people, come June 2027 for presidency, from councillor to presidency, my children are taking over. Because I want to put power in their hands so that they can rewrite our constitution and give power to the people. If after that, for a couple of years, what is making us to agitate for Biafra, what is making us to agitate for Yoruba nation, what is making us to agitate for Arewa, if we don't get it, then we can split. But I can guarantee you that if we put the power in the hands of my children, because they are smart and they suffer this oppression for too long, they will be able to figure out things they need to do so that we can live as one.
Thank you, Mama Icho. Ewa, welcome, my mother. Look, welcome. Ewa, I don't know if you have read that the book. There was a country, a personal issue of Biafra written by Achebe, which I am reading at the moment. And this statement here, the intellectual foundation for a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens. This is what we are fighting for in Nigeria. You understand that? Do you have anything different to say, AY? What?
Okay, definitely. I always have something to say, of course. Good afternoon from here, everyone. I just want to actually continue from where Mama Icho stuff. Mama Icho, I can't agree more with her submission. I think if you create Biafra today, I don't know who's gonna be part of it, but the truth is, it might be worse than the system we are operating today, because clearly the EDCs are showing that's gonna be some kind of a hell where the people who are part of those ruling Nigeria today, they are still gonna be people that will be there. Some of them are even worse. So
okay, look at the comment. We are all Biafrans. That is the title. On the basis of this statement, you are a Biafran because this is what you want. A state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens. This is what you want. This is what I want.
Yeah.
So Nigeria is not working, okay, as it is. So should we not all pitch tents and have this nation called Biafra? If Nigeria is not working, should we all of us not move? Okay, see, rather than making it a tribal or an ethnicity thing, should we not all come? Let's move to that point for that agitation of a Biafra nation, because this is what I want.
I actually love the discussion. It is actually a real intellectual discussion. So, okay, let's say today we are all Biafra. Then what? What next? Who are the people? Who are the people that are gonna lead the Biafra?
Let's make that. You are a Biafran. I am a Biafran. Madam Luke is a Biafran. So it's either. Sorry, Madam Luke, I didn't get you. I'll come to you. It's either we agree to come together and fix Nigeria as it is, or we all move and fix and create that nation called Biafra, because there's nobody that will come on this platform that would disagree with this statement that this is not what they want. Do you disagree with it?
The statement is 100% true.
It's 100% true.
So here, what exactly the statement is true, but what you are saying right now is like we have a leaking tank full of water. You've not solved the problem where the tank is dropping water. You are adding more water. That's exactly what you want to do now. So who are the people? So it's like changing the color of a building. Why inside the building is rotting? So you still want to deal with the same set of people. Either you say stay in Nigeria and fix it, move to Biafra and fix it. The system, the orientation, the people, they are still gonna go there and do the same thing or worse things. So that's not even the problem. The problem is we have to analyze, okay, how do we have a better Nigeria? How can we have a better a country called Biafra that we meet this standard? So, mind you, the leaders, they will be in that position to give that power to the people. If they refuse, just like we see in Nigeria today, the power will still be with them.
Hold on. Power already belongs to the people. because the people make the leader. This is the state. This is what the statement is saying. A state which the supreme power rests in the body of what? Of the citizens.
Yeah, true.
By electing a president, the people have that power to also remove the president or not to re-elect him. So the leaders don't give the citizens power. The citizens actually have the power.
You are 100% right. You are 100% right. But for the start, you need to build that system. The people don't have the power to build that system right now. Hold on.
I'm gonna do pushback here. Don't say the people do not have the power to build the system. We have the power to build the system. We can't go on this trajectory of hopelessness. We can't go on this trajectory of helplessness. No, we can't go on that trajectory. He ain't cut for me. I'll come to you. Madam Luke, I'll come back to you, AY. Madam Luke, the floor is yours. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, dear panelists and members of the Dr. Damage's family. I greet you all. Very interesting topic.
Madam Luke, hold on 1 second. Sorry, for the person on the backstage, you have to turn on your camera if you want to be brought, if you want to come on the platform. Thank you. Madam Luke, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. It is interesting. Yes, I'm proudly going to say I'm a Biafran, and I have Biafran roots. We suffered the consequences of the Biafran War, and we're still suffering the consequences of the Biafran War today. Yes, we are all Biafrans, because whatever Biafran stood for is what every corner of Nigeria is agitating for right now. Be it Oduduwa or Arewa or whatever, we have the same goals. It's just that they're split between ethnic lines. There is no problem with getting a Biafra state, but can it be actualized? I don't think so. And for the simple reason, because you have a lot of saboteurs. You have a lot of saboteurs in the system. Lots and lots of saboteurs in the system. And I advocate more for the Biafran mindset as opposed to the Biafran location. I've always said it, with the kind of caliber of people we have in the Southeast, or the North, or the Southwest, you can actualize whatever you want to do by your actions, and it's going to be a silent code. You don't have to go around hopping around the street, waving flags and making noise. That is what China did. China closed the doors, did its own thing, and one day opened the doors and boom, what did you see? A superpower. The Biafran movement does not have to be noise making. I don't think so. It has to show more in actions than in words. And that is what our people have not been able to do. We do a lot of talking. We have a lot of intellectuals. We do a lot of talking. We do a lot of reading. We do a lot of writing. But how does it show in our actions? Do you have a Biafran action? Less noise and more action. That's what I say. Yes, the power rests on the citizens. But can they unite without betraying each other? You cannot have a Biafra when half of you are for Nigerian government and whatever it stands for. And we all know we do not have a country and we don't have a government. But when you have half of your people or our people on the other side mitigating or fighting against you, how are you going to realize this? So you see, it's a stalemate. Yes, the Biafran mentality exists, but can it be actualized? No. Thank you.
You ask a question, can we unite? If you take this statement, a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens, I want to believe, Samuel have not spoken. Mama Echo has spoken. AY has spoken. You have spoken. We agree with this statement. So by agreeing with this statement, it means we can unite. Madam Luke, do you agree with that?
No.
How?
Because you're always going to have sellouts. And it has been demonstrated over and over again. Over and over again. You know what I expect us to do with all Nigerian elections? A total boycott. I want a place where you will go to a village and there will be nobody there. That's what I call unite.
Yeah, that is a point. That is a point.
A total boycott of anything not with the Biafran mindset. But what you have is people will sell their grandmothers for $10,000. The 10,000. I wish it was $10,000 or 10,000 naira. So if you do not have a total boycott of the Nigerian system, you are not united. So how can you unite?
Okay, Madam Luke. Sorry, I'll come to you, Samuel Inandi. This is to even though it's addressed to Madam Luke, this is to every one of us. In life, we always will get people that betrays. That will betray you, that will betray me. Does that mean, as a result of that, we should not push forward? When we identify those betrayers, just like Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus Christ, just like Sanballat and Tobias.
Yeah, you are pushing forward, but you're taking 2 steps forward and 2 steps backwards and 1 leg forward.
How?
So your effort. That is why we're stagnating.
Okay.
That is where we're stagnating. When Nnamdi Kanu came out, was he supported? We have the other one in Finland streaming. Is he supported? So I don't understand what this mindset is.
Okay.
It's either you're going to come up with a blueprint that we are going to agree with, or it's not going to work. So when you have 10 people, even if you have only 10 people digging a hole in your bucket, you are still going to lose water. Do you have can you fetch water with 5 holes in a bucket? I don't think so. Okay. Thank you.
It depends on how big the hole is in the first place.
Now listen, when Nigerians betray, they betray with big holes, not small holes. I mean, these are mega holes.
I don't want us to be pessimistic, Madam Luke. I'll come, Samuel.
I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. There are 2 different things.
All right. Samuel Inandi, thanks for joining. You've heard us. You were in the background. You've heard the conversation.
I raised my hand before. You not see me.
Yeah, no, Samuel. I have to let Samuel is just giving me hasn't spoken, so.
But you were interjecting her. I didn't want to interject. I raised my hand.
Yeah, I know. I saw your hand raised, but
Someone has to speak. Bump in to interject her just like you.
No, I'm the moderator. I can interject her. I can interject anybody.
No, now equal right we get here. No cheating.
There's no cheating here. I'm a moderator here. So, Samuel, the floor is yours, please. Go ahead.
I think the Jews got back their nation May 14, 1948, if I'm not mistaken. And it took, at some point, it took 1,813 years. And I'm coming somewhere, I'm going somewhere with that. Some things that are said to be impossible remains impossible until they are done. So your suspicion of pessimism is true, okay? It doesn't matter how sluggish it might look. It doesn't matter the saboteurs that are in existence, right? Most things that eventually became possible in this life at some point were never possible. The Biafra actualization, which has refused to die, with everything people have made, with the fact that even there's a global conspiracy against it. Because there are nations that have not gone through the pain that an average Biafra man had gone through, but they're existing today, right now, as a nation, as an independent nation. But there's a global, man, listen, I think Nigeria is just, God knows how many percent in what we are dealing with. It's probably bigger than Nigeria. There is a global conspiracy against this group of people. That's what I want to believe. And it is not me trying to look down on others, but if People are special, they are special. And we cannot just let them be. It's pretty much like the Jews. There is always something mystical about the Jews, that they are surrounded by enemies but not easily consumed. That can also be applied to an average Biafran person. And I love to use Biafran person as against using an Igbo person. Because sometimes Biafra is bigger than Igbo. People still fight against that and refuses to embrace or accept that. But Biafra is bigger than
Electricity,
Igbo.
it's not answering the question. I expect you to interject. That's how you interjected
No.
me.
AY, listen, I'm doing something different here. I'm taking notes while he's speaking because I'm going to ask him
Okay.
some questions.
Okay,
Please.
good. Sorry,
I just want
continue.
us to just be so I don't have to interject him. I will interject him when I want to interject him. I want him to speak, and I'm taking note, and I'm going to ask him some questions. Please go ahead, Samuel. My apologies, please.
And again, I accept your apology. Thank you for apologizing, and thank you for being a great coordinator. This is the problem. Most times we don't listen to ourselves because we just want to fight for our position and we don't want to hear what somebody else needs to say. If I come into a platform and I don't interrupt anybody speaking, I think it is mutually respectful to let me at least land before at least you air your own opinion. You might not believe in what I'm saying because you're saying a lie. Biafra can never come to pass. Forget that thing. But I started by giving a little bit of statistics of people who it looked like it can never happen, but eventually happened. And I also was making an argument that this thing is bigger than what we might know. If not, we could have had global support and collaboration for us to become what we are supposed to be. And so what if Biafra is bettered? Why is he a taboo? Why is he a taboo? Have there been nations here in this globe, in this world, in this universe that were never existent before but eventually existed? Why is he a taboo? If other nations had existed that were never in existence, if there was no Ukraine before and then suddenly there's a Ukraine, why is he a taboo? Why can he not be achieved in Biafra?
Okay, Summer. You said there's a global conspiracy against. First and foremost, look at the statement on the screen. You've seen it, and I believe you agree with it. Would that be correct, Samuel?
The statement on the screen doesn't need no argument now.
Thank you very much.
Who will dispute this? Nobody will dispute this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, you said there's a global conspiracy against Biafrans, and you also liken the Biafrans as the Jews. Would that be that's your statement, okay? And you said there are nations who have not suffered as much pain as the Biafrans, who are now nations, but they refuse the Biafra. Do you mind highlighting these pains, please, for me? If you don't mind telling me, because I am a Biafran, as it is. I am a Biafran. Could you highlight this pain that you're referring to, please? You're muted.
Some nations are bathed in blood. And like we all probably know, over 3 million people, died during Biafran struggle or civil war, Biafran war, whatever they want to call it. Some nations fought. I think maybe we gave in so quick. Is it Sudan or there's a nation that their battle lingered so long and they were able to sustain that battle for that long until they got what it is they wanted, right? But when people struggle for something, they get stubborn in it until they get it. But our own didn't last that long, but we've lost some people. People have died. In a fair boy, listen, how can 3 million people die for nothing? If the world is fair to us, these people deserve to get what they are looking for. And again, it is not a taboo. Heaven will not fall that there is a Republic of Biafra. Heaven will not follow.
Okay. See, war is never fair on anybody. You can see what is happening between the Israel and the Hezbollah and Lebanon. You can see the war in Ukraine war is never fair on anyone. But what we're trying to do here is, or what this platform of myself is trying to do is to bring minds together. You can see from the beginning, we are all Biafrans because of this statement on the screen. We may disagree on methodology, on going about it, but we all want the same thing. So it's either we focus our minds and our everything in creating this one Nigeria and make it work, or every one of us move to what? To form this strong alliance, because the power belongs to the people, which is the movement, and have a Biafra nation, which is not based on ethnicity or tribe. That is what this statement is actually saying or telling us. Yes, 3 million people died. I can guarantee you their death is not in vain. People still die today. People die in the Lekki NSAS. Police kill innocent people. They are dead. The 3 million people that died is not different from the people that died today, that are dying today. There are those who also die in hospital. Now, if you now liken the Biafrans to the Israelites or the Jews, then it's a different kettle of fish, because he ain't going to win that argument, because you can see what Israel is doing in to the Palestinians and to the Hezbollah. Then the Biafrans should pick guns and separate themselves from Nigeria, if that is what they want. Like I said, it's an argument nobody's going to win. If you have to compare ourselves to the Israelite. Tony, look, welcome.
Can I
If
add
I come to
something?
you, I'll go to Mama H.O. She wants to say something. Mama H.O., you want
Can
to
I
say something?
add something you just said?
Moderator, please, when I compared Israel, I wasn't comparing that we should pick up weapons like they do to fight. When I compared Israel, I compared on the basis of it took a long time before they became an actual state. And no matter how long it might seem to take, the possibility of becoming an actual state is still there, no matter the time involved. That's the
All right.
comparison.
Thanks for that clarification. Mama H.O., you have 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
I've forgotten a line of my thought, but I'll try to recall. First, AY said, I don't know if he's the one that said it, that we are not ready, or is Madam Luke that said that?
Yeah, it's Madam Luke.
Okay. There's another one you said. I'm trying to recall that. Madam Luke, you said we are not ready. We are ready. The only problem we have, we need a leader. And I am leading. Whoever that wants to join, you can come and join. Because I'm already leading and working behind the scene. We will throw one joker card in this month of October. Why the October? We will throw a joker card. I'm not here to discuss that joker card because we have a lot of enemies around. But I can trust the whole world will shake like COVID-19. That's the only thing I can talk.
Thank you very much.
We don't need, I'm not done. We don't need battalion in that journey. Like Gideon, he gathered together 300,000 soldiers. And God said, no, you don't need this number of soldiers to fight the war. And Gideon said, okay, how do I know who will follow me? He said, take them to the sea. Let them drink. Anyone that drink with his hand is disqualified. It is only those who leap with their mouth that will go with you. And Gideon was able to reduce the number of those who went with him into that battle. And he will eventually win. So like Gideon, I am selecting those who will help me to play the Joker's card. And it's going to be a sweet one. We're not a carry gun. But Kasala go boss. Not only in Nigeria, in the whole entire world. And they go carry focus on our president. meet all the demand.
Electricity, can I quickly
Your
say something?
your 2 minutes is up. Thank you very much, Madam Mitchell.
Me,
Ewa,
can I
I'll come
quickly
to
say
you.
something? Okay.
One second. Mr. Tony, okay, thanks for joining this discussion. From what you can see, I don't know if you've been following from the start of this discussion. We are all Biafrans. We make Nigeria work, or we all pitch tent and have that nation called Biafra. So, Mr. Okay, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good evening. I just started listening to the program. I'm not too sure I have a grasp of the issues here, but I can see it's focusing on Biafra. From the caption, I can see it's like we're looking at the intellectual foundation for.
The intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra is what a state in which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizen. And every one of us agree with that statement. By this, that means every one of us, we are Biafrans. So Biafra is not based or established on tribe or ethnicity.
Well, just thank you for that for that background. I don't know if I agree with that caption that Biafra. Well, you're talking about the intellectual foundation. I think Biafra is a reality in the sense that geographically we can locate the area, the boundaries that is referred to or covers that region. It may not physically be in existence today, but the concept that for a nation like Biafra is something that has been on. My feeling is that there has to be a more tangible approach or a different approach to the whole concept of the Republic of Biafra. Apart from what some individuals are doing within and outside the country, I think that we might need to look at the total strategy for the realization of the Republic called Biafra. The present, my opinion is that the present struggle or the present strategy that is being used is one that also has not been very inclusive. There are certain areas of where would rightly belong to Biafra that are disassociating themselves because they are not quite in tune with the strategies that are being implemented right now. So I think there's a need for a retooling, there's a need for re-strategizing, there's a need to get this movement to be all inclusive so that those areas and peoples who have some are not quite comfortable with being classified as belonging to that area can be brought into the fold. So that's my feeling now. I come from an area that is divided as to whether they see themselves as Biafrans or not. And that's because there are still some misgivings looking at maybe from the strategy that is being adopted or from certain ill feelings that people have about the notion and the idea of Biafra. So, and I think that is also a negative, something that is also in some ways hampering the collectivity of interests in pursuit of that goal. Let me stop there.
Thank you very much. All inclusivity. Thank you for that. Then we need to include everybody in this struggle forward for a Biafra nation, given that we're saying Nigeria is not working. And by, I'm looking for the right words to use, by this statement, we are all Biafrans. I know people will say I can't speak for them. I understand that. But as far as we are here now, I agree to this statement because this is what I want. Whether I'm in Nigeria, whether I'm in Biafra, whether I'm in Kutuwenju, or whether I'm in Oduduwa, this thing. If we have a nation that respects this, then I will go there. And this is why we're different from countries that have uphold this. They are not perfect. So, but the power belongs to us. It's in our hands to make this possible. Ewa, you got 2 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, so electricity, I completely agree with you and the statement, right? So at this point, this statement can be treated as an ideology. Was this statement from Chinua Achebe?
Yes, it's from Chinua Achebe.
Okay,
You find
I
it in the
remember.
book. There was a
Yeah,
country.
so this is exactly what we did. So what this means, just like you rightly said, it doesn't matter if it's Kanuri Republic, if it's Yoruba Republic, if it's Biafra Republic, whatever republic, it doesn't matter. If it's Nigeria, it doesn't matter. So he was just telling us, this is what we need to survive. It is an ideology, a real ideology at that. So it's just like here, it seems some people are not understanding it because when you say, for example, removing this statement, you want Biafra. The question is, who is going to lead the Biafra? How are you sure you are safe that where you go is better than where you are? But with this statement, even when you now say you move it to Biafra and the people are ready to accept this statement, it shows some kind of positivity that you have a nation that will work for the people. That is what it means. So it's very, very important. If Nigeria, as we have it today, this statement can be actualized for the power to be with the people. I think more than 50% of our problem is solved already. Trust me.
Right.
So because when you create another system that you still have clueless, wicked, greedy leaders like we have in Nigeria today, it's not about the name. It's about the people that are in that system, either the political leaders, the common people. That is what is important. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Abubakar Liu, thanks for joining us. I can read your comments there. You're asking for a minute. Do you mind telling us where you're joining from, please? The floor is yours, but if you don't mind telling us where you're joining from.
Yeah, I'm joining from Adamawa Yola.
All right, thank you. Mr. Liu, you're welcome. You can take more than 1 minute. So you have 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I keep hearing all those people saying that Nigeria is not working, Nigeria is not working, we need Biafra, we need Biafra. And then the last guy, that spoke before the other person speaks, was saying like he came from a region that are contemplating whether they're actually Biafrans or not. We say Biafra to the outsiders. You're just making it look like it's a evil thing. What will I do with that? And the minorities there will also feel like if we accept the state of Biafra, where will the line be drawn? From where they think this land belongs to Biafra? How will you draw the map? And if you include certain people and they don't like to be associated with Biafra, will there be a referendum for those people to have an election and then say, okay, we don't want to be with you, we want to be with Nigeria? What about the minor tribes in Nigeria that in the east, where in Biafra that say no, we don't want Biafra. If Biafra happens, it means Igbos will be ruling us whatever will become slave sleepers because they are more organized, they have more resources at their disposal. Even though the oil and the whatever it's found mostly in non-Igbo land. And if you trace the history, what the Igbos did to those tribe, just minority tribe during the Afghan war, during the civil war, you realize that the Igbos are using them as what the Israelis will say, the Palestinians are using human as body shield. That is what they're using them for. They will send them to the front line and have them killed, sometimes intentionally, just to cut away their resources. So, what I am trying to say here is that America had for more than 400 years of independence. Still, they have problems. They're trying to solve it together. Almost America, they lost their culture. They love culture of Africa, Borno, whatever place you can name in Africa. They love that people have culture there, but they don't. They try to assimilate to become one group of people under one umbrella, and it took them years before they were able to achieve that. Now, even the Westerners, even the Western government, the United Nations, the UN, before you are recognized as a nation, you have to be part of the UN. If you're not part of the UN, you just end up being like the Somaliland. The Somaliland is a country technically. They have their own central bank, they have their own currency, but then nobody recognizes them as a country. Nobody is just saying, I'm looking for a visa to go to Somaliland. Nobody recognizes them. And then once they realize that if they accepted that, once Biafra is accepted, then Catalonia will follow, and then the Scottish and the Irish will say, okay, if that's the case, that's the trend that's happening around the world, we also want to exit. And if you can remember, there's also a Calexit movement in the United States. California want to secede from the United States. They don't want to be a part of larger United States because of certain political issues. But if you can address all those political issues, like you said, calmly, diplomatically, Nigeria will work. You don't have to create multiple states. If Biafra is granted their own state, okay, Hausa, if they say we also want our own state, and then you become Nigeria will just become like a tiny, 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 tiny kingdoms instead of countries. And the smaller we are, the weaker we are as people. Don't just think like once Biafra is declared, your problem is solved overnight. I don't think that's how the real world works.
Thank
You
you.
still have more problems to solve, if not greater than the problem that Nigeria has already created.
Thank
I'm
you.
not a fan of whatever is happening in Nigeria now. I don't like it at all. I don't want to be a part of a country that does stuff like that. But I have no choice. Nobody asked me where will you like to be born. I just happen to be born in Adamawa, Nigeria. So I don't have a choice. You happen to be born in Biafra land. You don't have a choice. It's not as if you struggle very hard and you are rewarded by being born in Biafra land. And then you say, I'm proud of being Biafran. It's like saying I'm proud of having cancer in my family. It doesn't make sense.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Aliu. Aliu, thanks for joining us. You're highly welcome, and your views we are asking everyone all over the country to join us. It doesn't matter. Your opinions, your views are expected here. And based on what you said, I can say you're also a Biafran by heart. It doesn't matter whether you are born in Adamawa State and I like that what you said. Uh, uh, I didn't ask to be born in Nigeria. I don't have a choice to be born in Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria. What I'm going to do is we're going to go around again and we have to start to sell this message, like what Mr. Tony Akes and most of you said, inclusiveness. And then there's this misgivings about Biafra that, like what Tim Ajek said. Tim Max said, let me highlight it again, which is absolutely correct. He said here, welcome to the platform. It is not a physical space we are talking about. It is a mental thing. And a state of mind. And this is where we on this platform, Rudolph Okonkwo, Dr. we come into play to educate, first of all, ourselves, educate one another, then help to educate Nigerians either in diaspora or back at home. The movement have started, for the record. And in respect to this movement, we individuals are the movement. So if we are waiting for one gigantic movement to start from somewhere, no. So I will come to you first, Madam Luke. I'll go to Samuel Nandi, then Madam Toki, then I'll end with Mama H. Madam Luke, how do we proceed with this statement that Tim Ajek made? It is a mental thing and a state of mind. Being a professional in the medical, how do you, what medication do you give to help people to change their mind, if possible? I'm only joking on that. I know there's no medication like that. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. You see, I already said that in my first premise. I said it's not a physical thing, it's a state of mind. And if people truly believe in that state of mind, you don't need anybody to tell you. When you visit a certain location, you don't need anybody to tell you have a Biafran mindset.
Yeah, thanks.
You don't need anybody. That is why I said we are not ready. Okay? It starts with you. It starts with me. If you come to my hometown, nobody will tell you you're in the Biafra area. But people are thinking of a physical, geographical location. Because everybody wants mine, me. Our own. You can't get your own when you don't have the mindset. And Mama Echo said something. Leaders are very important. You cannot even find key leaders in Nigeria that can blatantly come out and tell you they're proud to have a Biafran mindset. There is nowhere, even Mr. Peter Obi cannot even mention that word Biafra on a public space. But does he have a Biafran mindset? Yes, he does. So you see, it's very complicated. People are not, you are saying, what medication are you going to give? If you're not proud of who you are, I don't know what medications we can give to you to actualize your goals. Yes, Mama Echo is doing the right thing by saying, yeah, we go in the grassroots and everything, but your leaders have to be prominent. You cannot have grassroots leaders because the bottom line, and this is what it comes down to, you cannot believe in Biafra and believe in Nigeria. Those two things do not even mix anywhere. You cannot mix the two. So, you can be a proud Nigerian. That's why I said when I come in and say I don't like Nigeria, people don't understand what I'm saying. You cannot be a proud Nigerian and have a Biafra mindset. It's not possible. It's not possible. So we have to be honest with ourselves, first of all. That's the first medicine. What exactly are you? When I come out of the country, my passport says Nigerian. I cannot say I'm a Biafran. I don't have a Biafran passport. But I have a Biafran mindset. So you see, we are chained into our actualizations. We are chained. Because here you are, here now, we all have Nigerian passports. Can you be a Biafran, have a Biafran mindset and still believe in Nigeria? Absolutely not. I don't believe in Nigeria, but I have a Nigerian passport. Go figure. So please help me here. If you don't admit to what you are and own up to it, Can we all here burn our Nigerian passports? The answer is no, because you can't go nowhere. You cannot go nowhere. So how do you actualize Biafra when you are having a Nigerian tag? How does that work? Answer,
Madam,
please. Thank you.
Madam, look. What is the mindset of a Biafran, of a typical Biafran person?
You will not vote in a Nigerian politics.
Okay, so that is what you are pushing for.
You will not. You would. It is going to be a total boycott. You cannot vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying that. I just want to. I have my reasons why I'm clarifying that. Thank you, Samuel. The statement there is we need a leader. Last week Friday there was a debate, but we could not reach a concession as to either to go to the side of Obi or to go to the side of Showere. There was this back and forth and back and forth. But truth be told, we need a leader. The people need someone to lead them in this what? In this great battle of rebuilding or recovering Nigeria from the hands of what? Of the oppressor. How do we go about getting a leader or choosing a leader? At the moment, we have P2B and we have Showore. There are others as well too who are yet to come up. People like Mama H.O. says she's leading a group. People like Madam Luke say a total boycott. That is our own group that she's leading. So we have to consider them for leadership as well too. So, Samuel, how do we go about? The people actually need a leader for this movement. Even though the movement is you and I, individually, we've started it. We'll preach it to our family, our friends, our spouses, our colleagues who are Nigerians, that the movement has begun. But we need a leader. Samuel, the floor is yours. Thank you. You have 3 minutes, please.
Our friend who came and spoke is not on camera, but he didn't bring me up on camera without being on camera. So what is the double standard about?
Allow me to clarify that, please. We give exceptions to people joining from Nigeria. It was actually on camera, but it's kind of a dark. If it's not on camera, you won't see that black spot there. But we give exceptions to those joining from Nigeria. So I believe you will understand that. Are you joining from Nigeria, Samuel?
No, it doesn't matter. But let me.
No. It's a question.
Are
you joining from Nigeria? The answer is no.
I'm not.
Thank
I'm
you.
not. There's a reason I asked, and I hope you. Well, let's not overflog it. So let me start with the population of Nigeria. Well over 200 million, right? 200 million people. Okay, and address the issue of boycott. If we boycott election to prove a point of our mentality that we don't believe in this system, we don't support this system, that would amount to hurting ourselves. So if we are proud that we carry a Nigerian passport, right? If we cannot deny the fact that, hey, I carry a Nigerian passport, that's my reality. If that's our reality, or what we call reality, I will carry that passport. Wisdom demands that we vote. Wisdom demands that we vote. Because if these 300 million people, that is Nigerian population, only 10 million votes because the other boycotted, election will be declared on the basis of the 10 million that voted. If I'm wrong, somebody will put me right, but that's what I believe, right? Election or winner or leadership. This is addressing leadership like you rightfully asked right now. Election or winner or leadership will be determined by the 10 million. Let's say voting really counts. That's a different topic altogether. That voted. So how wise is boycotting this thing? I would advise against that. I would advise that we vote massively if we have identified the person who will revisit, whether it is policies, the person who will revisit whether it is constitution, the person who will revisit balancing of power, the person who will revisit election transparency. We have to vote the person into power. If Nigeria must change, the thing that will change it is all of us voting, assuming that our vote counts. If our vote counts and we put the right person there, we will now see the person start changing the system in such a way that progressively the whole place will start changing. But I'm asking a general question. If we boycott and give these evil people opportunity to keep ruling us, are we shortening our problem or are we making it longer? And I think
Thank
that
you.
would be my time.
Thank you. Mr. Tony, I tend to agree with Samuel Nandi in respect to not boycotting election, because, I mean, not voting. Because if we don't vote, INEC will still do their job. INEC will announce a winner. And we don't have a choice to what? To accept it, because they are going to make it, continue with the policy. So, going at the same, in the line of Samuel, sir, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm not quite sure I agree with what Samuel has said about voting, because the country we know today as Nigeria is one where democratic values have gone totally berserk. The one we call INEC, which is supposed to be independent, there's a whole question as if truly it's independent. And we have seen what happened in the governorship election in Edo State. And from what we hear, it does appear as if the issues here are not just manipulation of votes by the parties. For me, it's a question not of saints and sinners here, it's a question of sinners all. You have the voters who compromised, and when you look at what we hear happened, you kind of have some pity for those people who came out to vote. I'm wondering if they had come out to demonstrate for, asking for good governance, and some people died, and you would think that those people are committed people, and when it came to election, I guess you still find some of them, being compromised and just selling their conscience for 10, 20,000, knowing that that won't even take them a day to spend, and the reality of the situation that they have been angling to change will stare them in the face. So I don't think that the issue here is voting. I think that this is a country that has totally lost its bearing. If you remember, the last time I appeared on this program, I talked about a book that is titled Ethiopia that cut off his head. I think that the problem that we have right now is that Nigeria has to decide, not just leadership, because if you're looking for leadership to decide, then we just continue to go round and round in cycles. I think that we are at a critical point as a nation. And there's a need for us, again, I repeat, to realize that the path, the trajectory that Nigeria is going through right now is not one that will lead to greatness. So it's not, the structures are not working. They are there, they are not working. Leadership is poor, one of the poorest in the world. Followership is bought, they are pauperized, they are pulverized, they are poor. And so it's easy for them to sell their conscience. When you give them a cup of rice, they tend to compromise. Even the intellectuals, the professors who we've had this change, change from having lawyers to run the INEC, and now we have the professors, people from the academia, and you think these people going by ethical standards would be close to angels, or, from heaven. But it's unfortunate that even now we've seen the worst, using professors and so on, to do some of the things that we're doing. And then we have the youth who are also helping us as people who just graduated from the university and are doing the NYU, and the National Youth Service. You don't seem to also see a change in terms of values in line with what the constitutional provisions are. So my worry is that just voting alone, even the interest in voting is going down. If you look at what happened in Edo State, look at the total number of people who were registered, look at the number of people who came, to vote, and the results that were that has been turned out. There's a general apathy to voting because people feel that your vote don't count. Some people feel that it's a place to make money. And so I think that entire infrastructure of voting, of INEC, of leadership, need to be totally dismantled. Now, Obi and Showore are just ideas of the kind of leadership Nigeria should look forward to, given the system that we have now. So I think Obi is more of an idea, because he cannot, with the way the country is now, there's not much Obi as a person, as an individual can do. And I hope and I'm praying that he doesn't tire out, having given all his all. The same thing with Shore. Because if you have these ideas, these lofty ideas, the critical question to ask is, are Nigerians willing? Are they ready to key in, not just by mouthing it? Can you find, our good angels that are ready to stand and push the frontiers of the message that Obi and Showore are pushing? And there are so many other people like that also, of like minds, who are also, maybe they are not, they don't have the kind of resources that these people have to drive this change that Nigeria is yearning for. But for me, it still remains as a mental, as an intellectual activity, because Obi cannot do much except he has a followership that is fully dedicated, a followership that is ready to drive this change, to its critical end. That's what I would say. But election is not just enough. Obi and Showore and all these leaders that we have are not enough. It has to be a total orientation and determination to push this struggle far beyond the frontiers of what we're seeing now. Let me stop there.
Thank you, sir. Speak the truth. Welcome to the platform. Marlon, look, there is a serious pushback to your idea of we should not vote, and which is hypothetically, Mama Icho, if we don't vote come 2027, who is going to be president?
I think
who are you asking?
No, Mama Icho, you got 3 minutes, ma'am.
I think we will be a fool to say we shouldn't plan for vote. And it will be the useless decisions we will ever make in history. Because if we don't prepare, we will still go there the way we went in 2023, 2022. Because when I begin to analyze what really happened in 2022 and 2023, and I begin to do my findings, what I find I'm not ready to reveal yet, because my children will not understand. They will not understand that the conspiracy that was done by the people they think we are fighting for them was not true. but I keep it in the cupboard, in my cooler, until I achieve what I want to achieve first in preparation for 2027. And the same thing played in Edo election. They came out to us with the mind that they are coming in LP of my children. But the bitter truth is that they didn't come out for my children at all. There is a conspiracy to hand it over to who they hand it over right now. And that is the bitter truth. But I'm not here to divulge any of those truths until I achieve what I want to achieve. When the right time comes, the truth will definitely come out. So, for us not to prepare for election is a catastrophe. Me and my children, we are preparing for election. And that is why I can beat my chest that come 2027, the law permit, from councillor to presidency, my children is taking over. And the game plan has started. One will be executed very soon in the midst of October protests. It will happen. I'm not here to divulge the detail because I want to get out my son. I be mother figure, I not reach to born am. So those when you go carry nonsense, they talk. I'm getting at my son, Nnamdi Kanu. Not only him, because I told brother President Tinubu, not be President, Chief Tinubu, I told him my sweetheart, now be my senior sweetheart, my boyfriend, senior one. I told him, if you don't release him in this court case that just finished, I will play you a joker card. And by that time, my demand will not only be him. My demand will include other sons and daughters of mine that are in their custody. Not only that, some impunities that have been dropped in that corner will be visited, especially what they did in election to my Igbo children. That impunity will be visited. That is why I've asked them, let them submit the things they want me to demand. Everything they destroy in Lagos will be paid back with interest.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Your time is up. I speak the truth. Welcome to the platform. We started with what is on the screen there. With the topic, you can see from the topic, we are all Biafrans. The intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra is based on this premise, a state to which the supreme power rests in the body of these citizens. The floor is yours. Thank you. You got 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, so by your own admission, you're still into reading the book. So you haven't, by your own admission, you are still reading the book. You haven't finished it. All right. So Chino Achebe actually did show himself to be a bigot in that book, but I will leave you to make that determination for yourself. When you say everybody is a Biafran because of a statement he made, by that virtue, then anybody could be a member and citizen of Animal Farm. Because basically, if you read Animal Farm, what was espoused by Snowball, Napoleon, and the rest of them, Squilla, was the same thing. And I can guarantee this. If you look at every constitution on earth, it is the same premise. It is the same virtues that they espouse. So we cannot just say because Chino Achebe took it in his wisdom to say this is what he wanted, that automatically everybody is. But I do understand the mindset and what he's projecting. Now, when I started listening to the show, I was hearing Mama H.O. while I was in the meeting in the background. And you have to look at, when you talk about Biafra, like I've said severally on here, you always have to look at why the minorities in that region are adamant about not following Biafra. You have to take into account their worries. And to do that, you have to go back in history and you have to look at how they were treated especially when the Midwest was invaded and the governor of the Midwestern region was sacked. And then you have to look at the atrocities that were committed by the Biafran forces after. And then you have to look and say, well, why would these people that were subjugated by the overwhelming majority Igbo tribe want to be part of this new envisioned country? For example, if you look at when I think it was Ejo was sacked, not Obemido, it was Ejo was sacked, Ojukwu made a fatal mistake. Aside from the fact that he imposed an ethnic Igbo governor on the people of that region, what he also did was commit ethnic cleansing, which I think a lot of people do not talk about a lot today. There was a town, if you look at Frederick Forsyth's book about Frederick Forsyth was a very, very good friend and mouthpiece for Biafra. There was a town called Abudu in present-day Edo State that was completely wiped out by Biafran forces. After that, they got to the Benin region where after they were leaving, because obviously the people of that region were not happy with the way they were treated by the Igbo soldiers, and they worked against them, and they collaborated with federal forces, poisoning the Biafran soldiers, for example. And while the Biafran soldiers were beating a retreat after losing in Ore, they ransacked the federal bank in the central bank in Benin. So you always have to look and say, okay, well, I don't think as much as you would want to say, as much as, is that the time up?
Yeah, your 3 minutes is up.
That's cool.
Yes, let me, just you still have the floor for a few seconds. I just want to put something across to you. Like you rightly said, almost every constitution looks alike, or the same, cut and paste, they just amend a few things there. And whether we agree that Achebe is expressed bigotry or is a bigotry in his book, that is, to me, is neither here or there. However, regardless, irrespective of whatever state we are, country we are, every human being, every person wants to be treated decently, wants to have the basic thing that life provides for them, or that the government is expected to provide for them. And the premise in which he said this is the argument or the discussion we are having today. A state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizen. So this can also be what? Nigeria, which we don't see the power rests in the body of the citizens. So thank you for that. As we give our closing argument, I'll start with Mama Echo, Madam Luke, we'll go to Samuel, then we'll go to Mr. Tony, then I'll end with I Speak the Truth. You have 2 minutes to give your closing argument. Thank you very much. The floor is all yours.
In moving forward, I would suggest we work together. First, to take Nigeria back. Then we can now sit on a round table after putting the right leadership in place from councillor to presidency. We can now rewrite our constitution, which will include room for referendum. But then, when we have my children in place, we'll give at least the first 4 years to see if they can make the changes I expected them to make. Because my work with them is the father. If we put you there, we give you 1 year, we go review you. If you not perform, we go recall you according to the constitution. We are not waiting for another 4 years. That would be my suggestion for now, that we should work together. And if you are ready to join me in this work, we have a core value that we use in bringing us together. Because the truth is this: I might be able to read some from my head. The truth is this. Opposite of this core value is what destroys us. If I say accountability, you agree with me that because of lack of accountability, the country is what it is. If I say competency, you agree with me that those that in leadership, they are not competent. If I say good character, you will agree with me that those who are currently ruling or have rulers, they have no character at all. If I say integrity, you also agree with me that those who have rulers have no integrity. If I say honesty, you agree with me that those who have rulers and are currently ruling, they are not honest. If I say truthfulness, you also agree with me that those in leadership position before and now, they are not truthful. If I now say empathy, you also agree with me that those who are in leadership now and before do not have empathy for the people. If I say the fear, the love for humanity, you also agree with me that those who are ruling us and those who are ruled out in the past, they have nothing to do with humanity. Because if they have something to do with humanity, they will not treat my children the way they are treating them. They will not suggest them to be picking things in the dustbin before they eat. They will not subject my daughters to believe that it is that hole between their legs that they have to make money. They will not always subject my sons to begin to go and lick plates before they can have a living. They will not subject my children to remain on the street of Nigeria, fending for themselves as far as the age of 5 or 6, whereas their children are living a luxury life, using the natural resources to the about. They will not. Then above all, you also agree with me that those in leadership before and now, and all of us, we do not have the fear of God, because the people in leadership would have not been able to succeed in looting us. Let me round up. Those in leadership would not succeed in looting us if some of us are not helping them to do money laundering. So when you point finger to the leader, also point finger to those wicked sons and daughters of mine that are helping them to loot the country and do money laundering for them. Thank you.
Madam Luke, the floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you once again. I will put it to you that you are not ready. When you're ready, I will let you know. But right now, whatever I think you're doing is what you've been doing for the past 40 years. And I'm just hearing some very strange accounts of what happened in Edo State and all those other places, where we know for a fact that most of those areas, and I live there, my parents live there, there was very few Biafran presence there. It was more like the Nigerian government military that was there running down the whole place. I was born, I think that time, we had to run. My mom, who was Igbo, had to run to Benin. And you dare not mention the fact that you were Igbo. So there were hardly any presence of the Biafran military there. They were practically in hiding. What were they fighting for? To oppress people who didn't want to join the Biafra movement? It don't make no sense. But I'm going to leave that alone, because there's a lot of rhetorics and everything touted there. And coming to the fact that Mr. Chino Achebe in his book is promoting his cultural or ethnic identity doesn't make him a bigot. Everybody's proud to be where they come from. He was not for the Nigerian government. He was strictly for a nation that was for equity and justice, that the Igbo people should look up to. That does not make him a bigot. So having said that, in this movement that we're doing, I believe it's a mindset thing. When you inculcate that mindset into your lifestyle by not voting, you have been duped. You have been screwed more than once with the Nigerian elections. So what are you going to vote for? Did the latest Edo elections didn't tell you anything? You can put all the foot soldiers and the ground soldiers in it. All they're going to do is lock you out of that INEC office, and there's nothing you can do about it. If it's violence for violence, I don't think Nigerians, you are going to match the Nigerian military. Look at the military presence in those 35,000 soldiers, foot soldiers. That's just military alone. So I don't know exactly how you're going to go about this, but like I said, when you are ready, I will let you know. Right now, we're just talking for the entertainment value. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Luke. I would disagree with you that we are just talking for entertainment value because I'm not dancing. I don't think anybody is dancing either. We are talking for to educate ourselves, to renew our
You have
mind.
been doing this for 40 years.
We will continue to do it, Madam Luke. We can't stop talking, Madam Luke. Can you stop talking even if you don't talk politics? You're going to talk something else. So
No,
you
like
can't
I
stop
said, for the
talking.
entertainment value, we can do that.
No.
We can do that.
I'm not here for the entertainment value. We are here to push. I mean, since we agreed that we started this movement, we are here to continue on it. Samuel, the floor is yours. I think
Just
you
10
will
seconds, please. 10 seconds, please.
Okay, 10 seconds, you said. I'm counting, please.
The truth is this, as for my team, we've been working for 5 years. But the 5 years, it was very difficult for me until recent. Because building my engine room.
Your 10 seconds is over, please.
I'm
Thank
coming.
you.
Building my engine room
You
is not
asked for
as
10
easy.
seconds.
Why are you talking? You don't let me land now. Is it that people shouldn't hear what I want to say?
But there are other people on the platform.
Did they complain? Let me round up and I will leave the floor.
They don't have to complain. I am the moderator.
Let me round up.
Go ahead,
Mr.
please.
Host. So my engine room has taken me 5 years. In that 5 years, I discovered it is not a funny room. But by the grace of God, my cries and my tears has been answered. I have found the right children to build up my engine room, and we are working. Soon, you will hear one of the results in this month of October into November. Thank you.
Samuel, the floor is yours.
Why are you drawing conclusion when some people are just coming in that have
No, we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. But I know when we're going to. I'm sorry. Yes, I wanted to draw conclusion, but others coming. Mr. James, our historian, he will have 1 hour to speak and lecture us, particularly to lecture Madam Luke, who wants us, who said we are dancing here.
Mr. James, Mr. James, 1 hour is
Thank
allocated to you. That's enough time for some history lectures. Anyways, I would say that it is very unwise to not to get involved. We please must get involved, and involvement at this time around is better at the grassroots, because we end up voting for people that we are not involved in the selection process. So if we are not involved in the selection process and they bring 2 idiots, we will end up voting 2 idiots. So to fix this, we have to go to the root, register, belong to a party, and be more mindful of that process that picks out who is going to be the senator, who's going to be the governor, who's going to be the president. The process that picks, let's fight for that process. If it is not being transparently done, let's fight at that level. If we fight at that level, we've won the war, basically. All right? We will insist that this has to be done. We insist that the right person, because the worst of us is leading the best of us. And it's painful when PhD holders, professors are the one announcing result of illiterates. It's just crazy how we do things. And to fix it, let's all get back into politics. Let's join political parties. Let's get into grassroots. Let's be mindful of the selection process, not the election process, because we elect who was elected for us. If we cure it and heal it from the selection process, the election process will be much better as an outcome. Thank you.
Samuel. Mr. Tony, okay, you're next, please. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
I I think it's better to keep talking. To judge is better than to war. Even when people go to war, they say come to the table and talk. So it's good that we talk. But for me, what we have going on in Nigeria is a mockery of democracy. Nigeria is not working. That's the truth. It's not working for anybody. Even those who think they are making money out of Nigeria, it's really not working, because you cannot live safely in Nigeria if the majority of the population is pauperized. You can't. But we have tried the parliamentary system and it failed. We tried the presidential system. That's what we're trying now. And we're seeing the result. So the question is, where is the problem? It's not the Constitution, because even America, from whose system we are trying to copy, although not wholesale, has had a Constitution that is not perfect. So they keep amending and keep changing and adding. But the point is that the Constitution, for over so many years, has stood the test of time. I think that the problem with Nigeria is not the failure of ideas. We have ideas. It's not the failure of the Constitution. No. And there's no Constitution that is perfect. But for me, the problem is that the institutions are weak. America was able to withstand the attempted manipulation of election in 2020 because the Constitution stood, and there were people who were ready to defend that Constitution. So if we want to move forward as a country, I think we must look at the structures, and the structures are not working. INEC is a failure. The military is compromised, I'm sorry. The police, maybe they're overwhelmed. Our politicians are not angels. The followership, is a problem. So there is, again, for me, a need for us to look at not just the leadership and the followership, but we must find a way by which we can all sit down and rework this system and be committed to it. And I think that even when we make mistakes, there must be provisions right there in the Constitution that can help us to stand up again and proceed in direction that will bring good to the generality of the people. I'll stop there.
Thank you, sir. I just highlighted the next topic for discussion. Nigeria is not working. Many people have said so. Mr. Tony just said so. Hold on 1 second. I need to re-edit it. Sorry about that. I need to remove something. So Nigeria is not working. What will make it work? So I start with you. I speak the truth. Nigeria is not working. What will make it work?
Okay,
Got 3 minutes.
So before I go into that, I'd like to just state that, first of all, I am a student of history. I do this for a living. And I am glad that an avid historian and someone I respect like Mr. James is on here. And while I do not do personal ad hominems, I'd like to correct certain things because I see it is starting to become very prevalent. Like if people do not like you personally on here, they do not mind throwing shots and making unprovable accusations against you. Now, based on what I said about Chino Achebe, like I said, it is a choice of opinion. Like I said, when you started, I said, you admittedly said you hadn't read the book. And I said, I will leave you to make that determination yourself. I'm not saying you have to come to the same conclusion that I reached. Now, with regards to what one of the panelists said about trying to dispute everything I do not come on here. I have never come on here to just spout things that are not provable. That is not in line with my profession, and that is not in line with my personal beliefs. So I say to the panelists, and most objectively to her, Ms. Luke, you have to go. Being that you say you were born in the area and raised in the area, I do not know if you lived there during the Civil War. Now, it is your own right, and this is something I'll put to you. You go find out. Was the Midwest invaded by Biafra, even though it was neutral? Also go find out, was the governor of the Midwest at the time, David Edgeworth, replaced by an ethnic Igbo by the Biafran supreme leader, Nnamdi Ojukwu, to rule over the Midwesterners? You can also go find out if the town of Abudu that I quoted, which is in present-day Edo State, was it ethnically cleansed by Biafran forces because the people were mistaken to be Northerners because of their traditional Islamic garb? Then you can also go find out, did the Edos themselves resist invasion of the Biafran forces by poisoning the food of the Biafrans, and the Biafrans, on retreating back across the river, raid the central bank? So these are things that are historically proven. These are things that are archived. They are written. If you have any doubt, it has nothing to do with personal ad hominem. You go find out, and then you have all the time. You can come back to us on Saturday and tell me everything I proved that you said I lied about, or you insinuated that I lied about. You can come tell us the truth and the fact of the matter. Thank you.
I speak the truth. I am not in doubt of history. Yes, history is very important. The purpose of history, if I am wrong, is for us to learn. Somebody's mic is on. Is for us to learn from history. I stand to be corrected. And for us not to repeat the same mistake or error that was done, to learn from it, to build upon that history. And I'm saying that why this history is important, it is also important that we move beyond that point. Because if I ask you now, this lecture that I know you are talking to Madam Luke. This lecture that you just gave now, what do you want us to do about it?
Well, it's not about you doing anything about it. If we have to deal with history, you cannot move forward without history. And you cannot do anything with distorted history. So the truth, you have to always speak with the truth and facts and evidence. That is the point. So my point is, I spoke evidence and I spoke indisputable fact. And she came around and said what I spoke was not true. Meaning, if you now, the ball is in her court to prove that I was wrong. Are we teaching people, like you said, and are we here to learn, or are we here to just assuage people's feelings? If we're here to learn, then we have then we have to go based on history, facts, and evidence, and that is my point.
Thank you, Madam Luke. You have time to respond if you want to. It's your choice. You don't have to. If you okay, sorry, Mr. Tony. Okay, you wanted to say Dan the Revolution. Welcome, Mr. James. Welcome. Sorry, I couldn't reach out to you. My apologies. We need to catch up. Go ahead, Mr. Tony. I'll give you 1 minute.
Yes, yes. I just want to respond to part of the things that you have said. I'm a graduate of history from the University of Ibadan, and I have done the research. I'm part of the Civil War. In fact, part of my thesis was focused on contemporary Nigerian history. Part of it to do with some of the events that led to the Civil War, and which culminated in what our brother is saying. In historiography, in historiography, there is nothing like the history. There is a history. Everybody tells history from his own perspective. Even if you go to the Holy Book, you see the gospel. Everybody gives an account of the events that he saw from what they see, using their own words. Some are verbose, some are not, and so on and so forth. So there is nothing like a true history, and I'm speaking as a scholar. You don't have a true history. No, there's nothing like that. Now, the perspective that is being shared by our brother here will be different from someone else who has a different perspective. So who is telling the truth? But the fact is that if we begin to go to the invasion of the Midwest by Biafra, or the recapture of the Midwest by federal troops, you will get different accounts. Madebo, many people have written about that account, and I think we have to be very, very careful, because this is a very sensitive matter. My town was affected. The federal troops, when they came to my town, totally decimated the male population from 18 years and above. That's an account. So if we're talking about Biafra coming into or coming into Abudu and doing stuff and so on and so forth, I think there's a lot that we need to understand in war, the things that happen, and people's perspective are different. So I just want to say to my brother, you just take it easy, because there are so many accounts, and this, what you're saying, is just one account, which may be true, which may not be true. I just wanted to say that. So there's nothing like the history. I mean, there's nothing like the history. There's a history, and which can be critically critiqued by others who have different perspectives. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir. No, I speak the truth. Hold on. No, hold on. I'm going to go to Ife. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to go to Mr. James, then I'm going to go to Dan the Revolution. He's one of the people that wants to lead us in the next revolution. But let me just point out what or buttress what Mr. Antonio Case said. And I'll use one of my favorite books that I often read. My literature book, I call it, which is the Bible, which is Romans 15, verse 4. It said, whatsoever things we are written aforetimes, we are written for our learning. So we have to learn so that we don't repeat the same mistake. History is good. Anybody who says history is not good, that person themselves will become history. But the purpose of history, from my perspective, is for us to learn from it, as to prevent some things not to happen again. Mr. James, the floor is yours. Thank you. This is a discussion here. Next topic for discussion, Nigeria is not working. But Mr. James, before you go into this topic, I need to highlight something for you earlier by Chino Achebe, how we started the discussion. The intellectual foundation of the Republic of Biafra, a state which the supreme power rests in the body of this citizen. The floor is all yours, Mr. James. Thank you.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, I deliberately.
You need to speak up a bit, please, Mr. James.
Yeah, I deliberately signed in because I was watching you in the background. I was a little bit taken aback by the comments on Biafran invasion of Benin City, of the Midwest. I was a little boy then. My father was living at number 21, Sakmomba Road, less than half a kilometer from Ring Road, the center of the city, opposite St. Matthew's Anglican Church. That's where we were living. When we woke up in the morning, I was preparing to go somewhere, I can't remember. So my father called me back.
Sorry, Mr. James, for interjecting. Lion 227, you have to turn on your camera if you want to be brought to the platform. Thank you. Mr. James, I apologize for that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was about going out when my father stopped me, called me back, and I could not understand what was going on because I was a little boy. From what I know, when the Biafrans invaded Midwest, there was no massacre. I'm not an Igbo man, neither am I a Benin man, but I was brought up in Benin City. I grew up in Benin City. Culturally, I'm a Benin man, but I belong to a different ethnic group. I'm not a Benin man. There was no massacre in Benin City. Let's call a spade, not a shovel or agricultural tool. Let's call a spade a spade. When the invasion took place, my father took us from Ring Road along Sakmomba Road. We crossed the moat to Upper Sakmomba Road, where we passed the night. Then the following day, he arranged for a vehicle to take us to Delta State, where I come from. He remained in Benin City. While I was in Delta State, my mother said that I was very stubborn, she could not control me. So as a punitive measure, he took me back to Benin City to live with my father, who was working at Ministry of Works and Transport, Sapele Road in Benin City. If the Biafran troops actually committed genocide or they wiped the people out, in the first place, my father wouldn't have stayed there and continued going to work at the Ministry of Works. He was a paymaster in the accounts department of the Ministry of Works. So I lived with him for a good part of the Civil War before my mother and my other brothers and sisters rejoined us in Benin City. That is what I experienced. There was no key. I can't understand how this information got out that there was murder, because from what I understand, when they invaded Benin, they took the state unawares. That is true. If you remember vividly, when the wahala between Yakubu Gowon and Ojukwu was in progress, Midwest said that they are neutral. They are not for Gowon, they are not for Ojukwu. They believe in amicable settlement. So it was a surprise to them that the state was invaded. When they invaded the state, Yakubu Gowon had already created 12 states. Please, let me finish this is what I experienced. I didn't read it from anywhere. Now, when they invaded the state, they appointed Major Albert, I think Okonkwo Wano or something like that, on August 17, 1967, and he was there till September 1967. Now, during the invasion, David Ejo fled from the State House, and according to him, he said he rode a bicycle, I think, to Lagos or something like that. I don't know.
That is true.
Well, it's not possible for a man to ride a bicycle from Benin City to Lagos. It's not possible. Maybe he did some of the journey on bicycle, then he continued with other means. It is not, he was not a world-class athlete to ride a bicycle from Benin City to Lagos. I don't think it's possible, although that's not what we are contesting. And the idea, this issue of who raided Central Bank in Benin City, that is the bank at the junction of Akpakpava and Ring Road. Who raided the bank is very difficult to ascertain. It could be the Biafrans, but is it true that when they got to Ore, They could not proceed. Then they retreated to loot the bank. If they had the intention to loot the bank, they had already taken over the city. They were in control of everything. The governor was in control. That was a golden opportunity for them to do it easily. Is it a retreating people fighting for their lives who will now be thinking of going to loot a treasure they refused to loot in the first place? You see, there are a lot of stories going around, and we will never know the truth about what is happening. Now, as regards what's it called, massacre, something happened at Asaba. We should call a spade a spade. After the federal troops, after the federal troops led by Murtala Mohammed crossed from Benue State, they landed at Ida. From Benue, they landed from Ida, they went to Agenebode. From Agenebode, they followed Aushi Road to Ikobahir. Samuel Ogbemudia showed them the way. When they liberated Benin, then from there they opened a new front to attack Biafra in the east. When they got to Asaba, it is alleged, I don't have any proof, and I don't want to believe any writer. It was alleged that the natives of Asaba, some of them being a variety of the Igbo-speaking people, they sort of played some games on Murtala Mohammed. And as a retaliatory measure, there was something like genocide that took place. They killed a lot of them. I mean, a quantifiable, number of men and women, particularly the men, were killed. So this is exactly what I knew. And while the war was going on, my father, uncles, they were always discussing the war, and they were listening to Radio Biafra broadcasting from Enugu. There was a very popular broadcaster, they called it Kokonde or something like that, who was reaching out slogans and Biafra, fight for your fatherland, and those kind of things. Now, on the federal side, radio stations were also beaming jingles, encouraging soldiers to fight, those kind of stuff. Now, please, I grew up in Benin City from when I was a little boy in 1962 till I finished my master's degree program at the University of Lagos before I left Benin. I never heard that Abudu was wiped out of existence. If it was wiped out of existence, when I finished my A-level program at Government College Ughelli, I went to Ministry of Education, Abudu, to get a teaching appointment at Ugo Grammar School at Ugoni Yekoriomo. That's the first place I worked in my life. I walked around the city of Abudu. There was no relics of war. There was no destruction of buildings. I mean, and the people of Abudu and Benin City, they are exactly the same people, just like the Yorubas in Benin and Yorubas in Nigeria. They are Yorubas. So the Benin people, they have, it's very difficult if you are not a Benin man to know the differences among them. We mixed together. I attended Western Boys High School, opposite Guinness at Ikobahir. It is from there we go to Abudu and come back. So I do not know where the information is coming from that the Biafrans wiped out the Benin. Look, if it actually happened that they wiped out the Benin, the way the British, punitive expedition of 1897 wiped out Benin, the Igbo man will not know peace, even after the war.
Electricity, is it okay if I respond, please?
No, not yet, please.
Well, you can't say I can't if they're saying things I didn't say. I never said anything about Benin being
I didn't say you cannot. I'm just saying that it's not yet your turn.
But
you are talking of Abudu. The people
sir,
of
you
Abudu.
keep saying I said Benin got wiped out. Respectfully, excuse me. I never
While you
said
were talking, I think interrupt
I
you.
speak the truth. Can you just be patient, please? After Mr. James, Dan will have to speak. Then we'll go around and you got your time. Sorry, Mr. James. We're not fighting here. This is history and correcting anything that has been said that is correct or not correct, or opinion and not opinion. So you get your time, I speak the truth. But right now, Mr. James, you have 2 minutes, then I'll go to down the revolution. Then I will leave the floor open. This broadcast is going to run for 3 hours. So we got another 50 minutes to argue this issue out, okay? And also, we must not forget that the movement has begun. Madam Luke, Mama Icho, they are leaders of different movements in this changing Nigeria and actualization of the Biafran nation. Mr. James, continue. Thank you.
So anyway, the issue is that the Igbos, when they invaded Midwest, they had the opportunity to wipe the people out of existence because they caught them unawares completely. They said they are neutral. They don't want to be involved in the quarrel between Ojukwu and Gowon. So when they came, they were not prepared at all. So they had the opportunity to wipe out the entire state from existence. And my people wouldn't have asked me to leave the Delta and go back to Benin City to live with my father. That is the state capital. So I think Frederick Forsyth, I don't know what to say about the man. I mean, I've not read his book, and I'm not eager to read any of the books on the Nigerian Civil War because they're all loaded with bias and what have you. So anyway, thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. James.
Kindly
Revolution.
Kindly permit
The
me
floor
to
is
sign
yours.
out because kindly permit me to sign out because it's already 8 o'clock in the Gambia. I have to go home. It's already
All right,
dark.
Mr. James. Thank you very much for coming on the platform.
Yeah, thank you. So please let us try to let's calm down tension. The tension in the country is too high. Although I no longer believe in Nigeria, I want us to come up with a new arrangement, but we should not inflame, we should not set the country on fire because we have people back home in Nigeria. If we are to dissolve as a nation, we should do it amicably. Yugoslavia, the Ottoman Empire, Ethiopia, so many other countries have come and gone. So why should we go through the Sudan route when we have the option to do it peacefully? With this kind of information we are peddling, we are setting the country on fire.
That's true.
Which will do us no good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. James.
Thank you for thanking me.
I say, just to emphasize on what Mr. James said, history is important, but we also must be careful how we say it because one wrong statement can spark can turn the country upside down, and that's why we have to be careful. We correct records. Nobody knows it all. So I can say something here and I can be corrected with evidence or facts. And so this is the reason why we are here.
But
And I want to thank. Hold on one
electricity.
second. Hold on one second. I said you have your time to speak. Trust
No,
me.
no, I just want to ask you a question. What is history? Is it based on credible information from sources like authors and historians and governmental archives, or is this something based on people's feelings of, okay, well, this is how I feel because I lived on this street? What is history?
Okay. You're asking me that question. If I live on a street and something happened and I witness it, I think I have the right to say, no, this thing happened or this thing does not happen.
No electricity. Not if you lived 2 or 3 or 4, you can clap all you want, Madam Luke. If you
No,
live
you
400,
asked me a
if you
question.
no. So if you live 400 miles away, if you live 400 miles away, but you want to say, well, because I lived in that era 400 miles away, then my information is more credible than historians or archivists or authors that lived in that within the sector of the happenings of the events. You are not more credible than those people. So if you want to say, oh, well, because I was this age, and then whatever you read, it should be discounted. That makes no sense. I can only go based on what we learn. And like Mr. OK said, yeah, and I would hope he doesn't use the Bible as an historical reference next time as an historian, but you would hope that you go based on the verifiable evidence on the ground, which includes written text, archives, recorded incidents. That is how you go. You just don't go based on, well, I feel like this because I lived there
All
or I
right,
was born
I
there.
speak the
That's
truth.
not how it works.
Okay. I don't. You see, one thing I would disagree with you is this. Though I'm the moderator, you see, the Bible is a literature book. Okay, just like any other book that people write. So for you to say someone cannot go by it, another person can turn around to tell you, we can't go by what your own book as well too.
That's an historical context. If it's not,
The Bible is in a historical context. I read it every time. So if you
I
want
don't
us to
care
argue
what
it,
you read. You can argue all you want as a pastor. That is your prerogative. But the Bible is not. You cannot
all right,
use it to
that is enough.
historical
Okay,
context.
Moderator, sir.
okay.
Moderator, sir.
Sir,
There's a book. There's a book called "What Is History," written by Henry Carr. What is history? And in that book, he.
Sorry, sir. Before you continue, Dan, I'm sorry. You are my man. I'll come to you. I'm not forget. Welcome, Ed. Welcome, Stubborn Ekene. Welcome to the platform.
No, my name is Ekene, not Stubborn Ekene. Ekene, the no nonsense Papa Ekene.
All right, sorry, sir. Go ahead, sir. Kene, welcome.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I was saying that there's a book actually that is studied in the university. If you're doing history, yeah, it's called "What Is History," and it's written by Henry Carr. So he tries to expose to us what history really is. Like it's been said by the man who tried to make some corrections about invasion of Abudu and stuff like that. Again, I still want to say that there's an unpublished book also by Mr. Justice Obubine, and he was also dealing with the same subject, what is history. This history is a compendium of facts. Fact is in quote, some oral tradition that have been passed from generation to generation, some written documents, some archaeological finds, and so on and so forth. But Obubine, in trying to define it, says that it is an account of what likely is. That's how he puts it. He's not a historian, he's the judge. He was a judge, sorry. And you can't say for certain that this is what happened because you were not there. I just want to keep in that.
Thank you, sir. You see, I don't think we should dismiss or have carried this attitude of dismissal. If you go to universities and they study theology. There are professors that study history, even about the Bible. Saying you don't care about, I don't know. Anyway, Dan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to join in. Fortunately, today I'm off work. I was just relaxing. Suddenly, I saw the program, and I couldn't wait to join in because of the host and some faces I saw there. Ekene, my brother, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Mr. Dan. Good to see you.
If they say you are stubborn, they've called me a troublemaker here, and it's your boo. No,
I know they are just giving us names.
Just because of speaking the truth, so don't worry.
Don't mind them. Jesus Christ was crucified, so who am I?
You see. So
sorry, Kenneth, if they're going to crucify you, you will not raise up from the dead. Trust me on that.
I mean, I will not even allow anybody to come close.
Ifeingwa, Mama Echo, long time no see. Respect to all of you guys. Anyway, history, speak the truth. I mean, let us face I prefer to march ahead. All those history, like that brother was saying, is a story told by different people. Everybody from your own corner. Nobody knows who is speaking the truth. And if you look at Nigeria today, most of the thing we are suffering is those history. Some people will come, they will tell you, say, na so it be. It depends who they told, and those people will carry it on the head. For example, Shore has been accused that he's working for Tinubu by very intelligent people. I thought were very intelligent people. But today, listening to Voice of the People, he was able to attack them and corrected that thing. And I'm so happy that he had the opportunity to correct all those lies from people who are jealous of his popularity because he's speaking the truth. The truth Nigeria wants to hear now is what Sowore is speaking. You understand? So I just want to just put that aside, you know. Nigeria is not working. That is the topic I came in to join, and I have not so much to say about it, but only to tell you people, dividing Nigeria, in my own opinion, will be the worst thing Nigeria will ever do if they carry it. America is so big. They made their states. They came together. They are not crying to break up. The thing Nigeria needs, ladies and gentlemen, I will make it very clear. What we need in Nigeria is kind of a revolution that will change the system so that we can, when somebody commit offense, he will pay for his offense. So that when there will not be impunity. Because like I always say, like most of you say, and I'm a student of this brother, Dele Farotimi, he will tell you, know your enemies. Like me now, I know my enemies in that country. Nobody, and also yesterday or somebody came, one of these doctors, Dr. Damages normally brings. When they come, they tell you they are so educated, they are this, they are that. It's just like this history thing. They come with their own narrative, how they see it. No offense to them. But for me as a person, the white man has not committed offense in Nigeria. They are businessmen. They give you your percentage. The people who is destroying Nigeria today, forcing us to divide, forcing us to think that dividing Nigeria is the solution, we know them. They are the people enjoying Nigeria today. These people who are causing all this problem, people are now saying, is Nigeria working? Will Nigeria work? Some people have even decided that Nigeria has no future, or how do they call it? There's no redemption in Nigeria. So if there's no redemption in Nigeria, is it breaking up Nigeria, especially at this stage of confusion? And secondly, it will not even work because these people holding us down will never allow Nigeria to break up. They will never allow it. So it's better we fight this follow Sowore. And when I say follow Sowore, many Nigerians believe in Showore's idea. Maybe we don't have that courage, like he's trying to be the leader, because they always tell us, find a leader. Who is your leader? Now we have a leader. People are telling us now, Sowore is this, Sowore is that, Sowore is Tinubu's child. Sowore. You ask for a leader to lead us to the promised land. In history, there's always a leader to lead in the promised land. Okay, let me conclude, because me, I don't like to waste much time. People go don't hear my points. My problem is that the cheating in Nigeria is caused by every part of Nigeria. If you read all these our bad people, Igbo man they there, Hausa man they there, Yoruba they there, all these minorities too, where would they say they be minorities, they there. No justice, no truth. Where the oil is coming from, Nigeria, go there. Nothing is happening there. But there are people from that place who are enjoying. You see? So for me, Nigeria will work, but it will work through revolution that will remove all these criminals from the power, and then we can fix that country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ed, welcome. Again, welcome. Mr. Murray, welcome. The three of you have not spoken. I have to give you some time as well too. This Friday, we will be having another debate in the United States of Nigeria. I think Dan went a little bit into it, and we will be having another debate. On Saturday, the women's segment return, and we will be having a guest as well too. That will grace the occasion for us. We're expecting two guests, but at the moment only one has acknowledged, agreed to be on the show. So it's going to be interesting. Apology for last week Saturday that it didn't hold. So I'm going to give you some time. You'll be there for. If you're not ready, I'll go to. I don't know who came first. I think Ed came before you, or he came before Ed. I don't know.
I think I came before him, but he can go if he's ready. Go ahead. I think I'm not sure. So,
all right, Ed, the floor is yours. We'll go to Kenneth.
Let Tiffy go. She's the one who's supposed to speak now, right?
If he's not ready,
okay, she's not ready. Oh,
no,
right,
she's not ready.
So, very good conversations going on here. I actually came.
You know what? No, you know what, Andrew, I don't want to get upset this evening, so let me quietly leave.
What did I do just now? You're not ready. I give you the phone. I don't understand. What happened? Did I do anything?
All right.
Why should you say she's not ready when she's on the screen and she has waited for this long?
She's
Oh,
been ready
no,
for.
I
She's
didn't
been
know.
All
ready
you
for a
should have
while.
said was, Ify, the floor is yours.
Honestly, I thought she was distracted. She was looking somewhere else.
Yeah,
We
you
all
should
have to
have
look
to.
somewhere else because we cannot sit down here and be staring at the screen forever. We got
I
to do
think he
something
actually
else
said,
when it comes to our turn.
he actually started by saying, if he is ready. I think because he didn't hear any
No.
response
There's no
from.
if. The floor is yours. Take the floor, Ify. Then if she's
Yeah.
not ready, then you can take her out.
Okay,
Yeah,
my apologies, Ify.
I was surprised that she wasn't speaking, to be honest. I wanted to tell her.
I actually thought she was frozen. That's why I kept talking, because I was like, if he
Electricity, when will my turn come?
I think it's just a misunderstanding, you know.
I'm sorry.
If you are hearing me, my
I'm sorry.
apologies.
If you please, if you come back, you can take the floor. I actually thought she was frozen, and I thought.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
You've not answered me. When is my turn coming up?
After Ed, Kenneth will speak, Mr. Murray will speak, then we'll go to the closing argument. So.
It's okay,
Sorry, let me say this.
Mr. Murray, please drop
Let me say something.
Wait, let me finish.
I have been on this show, on many shows. Before it takes you time to click over, sometimes there's a delay. So people are expecting you to click like a robot in seconds. You got to give them time to jump on.
Well, sorry, Madam Luke. It's just a misunderstanding. It's not like it was deliberate.
Mr. Murray, can you please drop your number at the private chat for me?
Yeah, I already gave you my number about 2 weeks ago.
You did? Sorry.
Yeah, you have my number.
All right, thank you, my dear.
Okay,
You're welcome.
yes. So it's been a very great conversation, and the reason why I actually came was because of something I heard. I heard about Abudu and that region and all that happened. I happen to be from that area. Abudu is actually my local government headquarters. So if you want to really Mr. James has already said most of it. He lived it, right? So it's not like Abudu to Benin is like 400 miles. If the road was good, it's about 30 minutes or even less, right? So, and if you really understand the structure of Edo State, Abudu is that part of Edo State that's close to the Ika-speaking part of Delta. So there are even, like, if you check the communities around Abudu, you'll find some Ika-speaking places, right? So there are two things that to me, they actually made my ear perk up. The first thing was that Abudu had native Islamic people. That's not true. And if it is true, I'd like to see evidence of it. Like, there was nothing like that. Don't let the name Abudu deceive you. It's just, maybe one of those old. And by the way, Abudu is actually a Benin-speaking part of Edo State. It's one of those. Is in one of the Benin-speaking local governments. So that's one. Secondly, I wasn't born then, but what my father, the story I've heard from my parents, when they talk about the old Biafra war, was that this was an invading army from the eastern part of the country, right? They'll definitely go through the eastern part of Edo State, which would be the western part of Delta State. That's how they're going to come. They're going to go through from Onitsha, Delta, Onichubo. What's the name of this other place? I'm trying to remember. But anyway,
Okpanam.
Exactly. They'll go through that part and then they'll head through Abudu. That's if they are coming through the western parts of Delta State. And as they were coming, what my father said was that everybody started running because this was an invading army. But my father never reported to me of any sort of massacre. And yes, it is historical that a Republic of Benin was established by the Biafran army. That's true. And they actually did that. Yes, even though it's true that they put an Igbo man in charge of it, but the thing was they did it that out of respect for the history of Benin, right? So that's what I know. If there is something contrary as to maybe Abudu being, as in having native Islamic folks there, I would like to know. I would like to know more. Again, whoever gives me information would actually be helping me know more about my history. But as far as I know, there's nothing like that. As far as the massacre, the only massacre that I can remember that happened was the massacre of Asaba. Right? That's something that everybody. It's actually historical. So if there is like literature that says otherwise, it would be good to know. But at the end of the day, I think this all boils down to what we are as a nation. I'm glad that the next topic that's lined up is the United States of Nigeria, right? I'm for a united Nigeria where every ethnic group is able to express themselves and not feel cheated. A united Nigeria that's equitable, but I can see why some people would want to pull out, because the truth is, instead of us to understand the pains that our fellow Nigerian they're going through, we always try to minimize it. So I feel like yes, we can all agree that the Igbo people have gone through a lot of issues in Nigeria, that they've been oppressed, that they've gone through a lot. It doesn't take away the fact that we can still fight for a united Nigeria. So those two things can be true. It shouldn't be that every time we just hear the Igbo man cry, we want to like silence that cry or just make arguments to, undermine their struggle or whatever their agitation is. So those two truths can be true. Yes, they've been oppressed. Yes, we can still, look to having a united Nigeria that's equitable. So that's what I just came to. That's the bit I came to give.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibe. You see, talking about credibility of history, an historian or author of a book usually are not the primary source of the history. They are categorized as the secondary source. Before an historian can put something down, he has to go to the primary sources and gather information. Those information could be altered by that author or by that historian, especially if the historian has an interest or if he's a biased author or historian. So if I, for example, want to know what is happening in the northeast of Nigeria today, I will go to Borno State, that area, that locality that the Fulani herdsmen are invading, and get the information from the locality, from the people that witness it. Currently, today, in Enugu State, coal is being mined in Enugu State. On a daily basis, coal is being mined in Enugu State. And you know why? The people, the hosts of that area, were invaded by Fulani herdsmen, sponsored by the Nigerian government. Today, the people left the place, they vacated the place, and it is surrounded by Fulani and Nigerian army. And every day, coal is being mined from that locality free of charge. So if I want to get an information, I will go to that locality and get that information. Matter of fact, just yesterday, I spoke with somebody from that village, and he gave me a real account of what happened to them. They are homeless today. And this is the same country that you and I live. And then tomorrow, one Fulani man will write a book and claim that he knows more than the people. And these are the people that my brother, I speak the truth, would trust more than the actual victims. Now, if I want to give an account of what happened during Biafran War, I will listen to my grandfather, who was very active in the line of duty. I will listen to my father, who was very active in the struggle. These are the people I will listen to. And maybe I will listen to my mother because they moved from one place to the other because of their father's involvement in the process. Now, it is very easy to try to cause problem between brothers or between proximate neighbors. And these mischief people are usually the ones that will call themselves educated people or historians. And before you know it, federal government will start giving them awards for being very outstanding. Because why? They are writing something that will favor the federal government. In extension, the Fulani cabal or the haters of Ndibo. So when it comes to Edo State, it's either I would define Edo, the relationship between Edo people and Igbo people in two ways. Now choose one. It's either we are brothers somehow, or we are proximate neighbors. Obviously, we are proximate neighbors, but I don't know if we are related bloodline. But these people that will come and write history and the likes of I speak the truth to believe them are the problem. I mean, confusion causing problem, people. People that want to create enmity between the Igbo people and the Edo people. The people from Edo, Abudu, is telling you that such a thing did not happen. You don't have to argue with them. And I've never heard of anything like that. The only thing that I heard was there was a massacre in Asaba because of Ahmadu Bello. The people of Asaba, they thought that the war has ended and it is now time for peace. Then they came out to, kind of maybe host the Nigerian army. I don't know, but they were dancing a kind of celebration to the end of the war. And a lot of them, most of them were massacred in retaliation to the killing of Ahmadu Bello. So this is the only thing that I heard. So please, I want us to begin to disabuse our mind against, against all these fake narratives of fake history. It never happened. I've never heard it. Like Eddie said, if it has happened, it should be online. Everybody will see it. Not one God-forsaken historian that we don't even know or author begin to write rubbish against two brothers or against proximate neighbors just to cause division. Look at what happened during this election. Just few weeks before the election. Kata problem everywhere. Igbo people this, Edo people this, Igbo people, just to cause confusion. Have you heard about that again? Soon after the election? Have you heard about the Igbo people threatening Edo or Edo threatening Igbo again? This is how the politicians play our fragile emotions. We start dancing, creating enmity, hating each other, killing ourselves for nothing. So please, if we want to go about telling history, sometimes I would prefer hearing from the victims than hearing from one third party or secondary account. No, I don't do that. So the Biafran war has come and gone, but the Biafra is still existing. And what we are talking about now is how to have achieved that Biafra once again. If the initial people, state or ethnic groups that made up Biafra are now saying that they don't want to be part of Biafra, that is fine. You can go and have your own. All we are seeking for is peace and harmony among us humans. We don't want to be living like wild animals in the jungle, just as it is in Nigeria today. We want a peaceful atmosphere where we all live and thrive as human beings. That's what you're asking for.
Yeah, thank you. We started this broadcast with this statement that is being highlighted on the screen. The topic is "We are all Biafrans." In light with these statements, whether Achebe is considered as a bigotry or as a arm robber, whatever it is, but none of us here disagree with this statement. Because this is all what we want. It doesn't matter where we are, whether we are in, whether we see ourselves as Nigerians, Biafrans, Ududua, whatever it is. This is what we'll be crying for if a state which the supreme power rests in the body of citizens. And I love history, and I love when we'll correct the record in terms of history. And so thank you for that submission. Mr. Murray, you next, please. The floor is yours. This is we're running this broadcast. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Murray, please.
Yeah, thank you once again for having me. It's always a delight to be on the show. Greetings to all the panelists. I think for the first time, kudos to Ikene for having the courage to speak truth to power. You know, I pick certain things from what he just said. Is Pastor still on the panel, please? Is Mr. Pastor still here?
He was
That's
never
what I'm
here.
getting.
He was
No,
never
Mr.
here
Pastor
today.
was never here. No.
Okay,
Please,
I thought Pastor was the one. Okay, I thought he was the one pushing the same narrative. I wanted him to. Okay, I wanted him to take the cue from to borrow a leaf from Kene. You see, by the definition of the title, we are all Biafrans. The same issues, the immediate and the remote causes of the Nigerian Civil War, they are still with us today. The same things, the same issues Ojukwu fought for, the same issues Ojukwu agitated for, leading to the avoidable Civil War. I say avoidable because it could have been avoided. It was not necessary in the first place. If not for the stubbornness and the store-minded of the then rulers. What we are experiencing today, these are even getting worse. So, if you define Biafra Republic as a place, a republic where the ultimate power, supreme power, resides with the people, it means we are Biafrans and the problem is still on. But the only thing I want to avoid, a second war will not be necessary among brothers and sisters. You know, this is just the only thing I wanted to say. And again, talking about history is good. It gives you a sense of where you're coming from. You know, if you don't know where you're coming from, probably you don't know where your direction is, where you're going to, where your destination is. But then, like the last week I said, history is good. But who is the historian? Who is the messenger? The message might be good, but the messenger also matters because the messenger could be a vested interest. So, like, I gave you a vivid example of the Nigerian Civil War. The first coup, the first military coup in Nigeria of January 16, 1966. Some people will want to target an Igbo coup. Another account will tell you, no, it wasn't an Igbo coup. So person in the military was involved. So how could you have told me an Igbo coup? Depending on who the author is. So we have to be careful. And Kene, kudos to you once again. I done my heart for you today. You know, I wish you could continue like this every time. Instead of allowing them to push us unnecessarily, to hit us together. This is the kind of message I want. I think I will want to get your number today because so this is the kind of message I like. Like the narrative in Lagos during 2023. A certain selfish individual, a certain criminal, you know, who has been benefiting from the common wealth of the people, discovered that for the first time he was losing ground. They tried to turn the narrative. They tried to change the narrative to suit their own selfish interests and personal aggrandizement by making it look like a tribal war. It wasn't a tribal war. So a lot of people fell for that cheap and gullible, narrative. So if we can continue the way we are going, I think we're getting somewhere. This is the kind of discussion I want us to have. You know, if people talk about education like the prof said yesterday. The kind of education we need this time around, it's not the education that will come from the four walls of an institution like Usuka, Uniben, or Ibadan. The education of the minds, the orientation of the minds of our people, so that we're able to drive the narrative that we are all common victims of the system that is not working for any of us. If the system was working, I would not be where I am today. You know, I miss a lot about my home. I'm like, my body is here, my spirit is not where I am. So I'm not complete, I'm not balanced. I'm not complete. I was not comfortable at home, you know. I told somebody yesterday when we were discussing on this platform that the greatest poverty our people have these days is not the poverty of the pocket, it's not the monetary poverty, It's not the poverty of the bank account. It's the poverty of the mind. Our mindsets are warped. They are polluted, making us to see one another as enemies, whereas we are common victims of the few cabal that are enjoying our commonwealth. So we should continue with this kind of education. I think it's very necessary. And again, somebody was talking about Showere and those there are some people on the panel who have given up on the election. That I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I think I'm beginning to, there were people even while in the school days who used to tell us that we're wasting our times when we're challenging the Abachas of this world, the IBBs of this world, when we are being incarcerated, when we are being traumatized and dehumanized. Some people would just take their bag and go home and rest. We are wasting your time. Nothing can change. I never believe we're wasting our time, because we could see some changes, like likes of IBB stepping aside, like people Abacha's dead, or Duchev was almost revalidated, and they kill Abiola to balance the equation and all that. We've come a long way in the struggle. But one thing that has been lacking is this division among the people. The unity of the people is what we need more than any other thing else. The people that are united, nothing can defeat the people that are united together. That is why they will do everything humanly possible to hit Omoriyo against Ekene, to hit Ekene against Mama Echo, to hit Mama Echo against electricity. Because we are divided, we become gullible, and we'll make it easier for them to rule over us. That is what they will do. They will go to any length. They will bring money. They will bring religion. They will bring tribalism. They will bring anything possible to divide us. And we will be here arguing among ourselves and who was wrong about the civil war and who was right. That is not where we are right now. They have made their own mistakes. The same way, the same politics they play among Zik, Nahoro, Awolowo, and the rest of them. Because before brothers will sit down in a room to discuss the way forward, things that would benefit the common man, somebody has already polluted their mind somewhere. So before the meeting, they have already disagreed, even before they hear from one another. So we should avoid that kind of, that one was orchestrated by the colonial masters. We call it the principle of divide and rule. They will invite Awolowo. Have you heard from your brother Zik? He was with us yesterday. Look at making two brothers see themselves as enemy. By the time they come out to discuss, they're already having animosity. They're already having misfeelings. They're already having hate and bitterness among themselves, even before they sit down to speak, because somebody has already polluted their mind against one another. So we should try and avoid this narrative, please. And if we continue to talk like this, I think there will be light at the end of the tunnel. For those that are giving up on the election, I don't blame them. Based on what has just happened based on what happened in 2023 presidential election, corroborated by what just happened in Edo State, it is clear to the blind and obvious, and I think it is audible to the deaf that the freedom we need will not come through the ballot. Now, the question is, the argument here about last week was Obi, credible fellow, has the capacity, has the competence, he has everything. But then, those qualities will not transcend into authority, or into governance or leadership if he does not have the opportunity, if he does not have the authority to bring those qualities to bear. Now, we have another alternative, Showere. Obi being a gentleman, Showere being a rugged man. No matter how you see him, some people see him as too arrogant. If you applaud what Mandela did in South Africa, if you applaud what Martin Luther King did in America, you applaud what Thomas Sankara did in his own country, you come in here to say Showere is too arrogant. I think you've known. I think you have to go back to history to see, to know more about what they did to get to where they were. So my point is, what comes first? Election, if nothing is done between now and 2027. For the likes of Tinubu, 2027 is a done deal. They have gone beyond what they said in Edo. After Edo, they're going to use the same template in Ondo. After Ondo, they're going to Anambra. So if we wait for election 2027, we are wasting our time. It's going to be an effort in futility. So the discussion now is, to further the discussion, what do we do between now and 2027? So the man that has the courage to take on the existing cabal is there right now. He jumped from his comfort zone in New Jersey into the lion's den. How do we support this guy? So that he might not even necessarily be the president. Those that are scared because of jealousy or tribal background, do not be scared. He might not be the president. So he might not be the president. But he's ready to be the catalyst. He's ready to put everything on the line. His family, his life, his business, his agent mother. He doesn't.
Thank you very
How
much.
do you support this man to clear the ground so that the so much qualities you cherish in Obi can continue to come in? Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. This Friday again, I would like to announce that we're going to be having another debate. We couldn't get a concession last week Friday, but we're going to have another debate again this Friday at 10:30 Nigerian time, 5:30 New York time, if I'm correct. And on Saturday, the ladies segment is back with a guest or with more than one guest, depending on how it goes. And so we're back in full swing. Yeah, welcome. The floor is yours.
Electricity, sorry. That lady segment, I like to watch it, but we don't used to see their faces now.
Yes, the reason for that is because it's to encourage more ladies who wants to join and don't want. So it's just to encourage.
Is it my
Sometimes
turn?
we discuss. No, I want to give CM the floor first, please. CM, the floor is yours. Thank you. CM, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know whether I'm coming out loud and clear. Am I?
Yeah, you are loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Brother Zia, before you start, I must welcome you specially. Please, borrow me 2 seconds to welcome you specially and your don't get fight in a election, please. My respect for you has just tripled. I've not had the opportunity to tell you. Now I know that you are a patriot. I thought you were, I think I apologize for the image I painted. It was the wrong image of you. I drop my heart for you.
Apology won't be enough. I have bank account number in case. Just to put it in perspective. Apology I go chop. Anyway, thank you very much, Thank you very much, electricity. Thank you, Omoruyi. Thank you, Madam. I think Mama Hecho, Kene, Ed, the resident economist. I speak the truth. I can't see the other name, but whoever. Thank you very much, everybody. Actually, electricity, I would have loved a bit of maybe 10 seconds by way of background so that I know what if there's an ask to kick or if there's anything
By
to
way
say,
of background, we started with this comment on the that you are reading, and the topic is "We are all Biafrans," because we went by this topic that everyone here agreed, or well, most agreed that a state which the supreme power rests in the body of the citizens. So that is all what we want. I don't think anybody wants something else different from that.
And anyway, the thing is that even without you saying we all Biafrans, I think the injustice in Nigeria has gone round, sort of, so to speak. So I do not see why people should sit on the fence anymore. Nigeria, as we know, let me just say, a failing state. And everything about Nigeria now is staring us in the face, all the negatives. But however, I always of the opinion that there's always a way out, a willing people. If there is a will on the part of the people, there's always a way. Which brings me to the issue now about the protest. I think I had protest coming on tomorrow. Yes, now it's long overdue. Whoever is leading it is long overdue. You see, the problem is when we look at leaders as if they have the all-wielding power, they will assume so. But if you make them look ordinary and tell them, look, in the end, it is now or never, they will capitulate and listen to you. So with that spirit, if that is what they are going through tomorrow, I wish people all the best. I want Nigeria to change, not because of the fact that the leader, at least the people, because even if you are abroad, in fact, today, somebody I did not know but lost a relation has to contact me for assistance. But I keep everything in abeyance until tomorrow. So what we're trying to say, what I'm saying in effect is that I don't really think anybody needs to be mobilized anymore. I doubt. Nobody, unless you are not, you don't breathe the fresh air that is everywhere or the polluted air. Nobody needs to be mobilized or be talked into. What can you do? It's everywhere. So whether they just about 0.0001% of Nigerians, in fact, the members of the National Assembly and the executive or the judiciary, these are the people enjoying. If you throw in the Yahoo boys into the mix, then everything is complete. So we are about 90% of the people. We are caught in between the devil and the blue sea. So if the spirit of Biafra, which is to rewrite injustice, because that is what Biafra really means, injustice against people. So I take it that I use the word injustice because it's everywhere now. People should rise up and say enough is enough. One thing I also know is that with a unity of purpose, there is no way people cannot sack this inept leadership that has been holding Nigerians hostage for quite a long time now, and is quite unbecoming. I remember Akpabio saying the other time, if you like, go and protest, we'll be in our house and eating or enjoying. That is the height of insensitivity. You are telling people which means you have food to enjoy. Why those people coming out to protest are hungry? So you are trying to tell them that you don't care. So that alone is enough to trigger a revolution if the people want it that way. But I feel the way. So to me, I don't really need to revisit whatever. The injustice is common now. There's no part that won't tell you they're not having it. Nobody is having it easy. So because of that, there's always the need for when we are having something in common, then we could, how do they say it? If we are equal, we negotiate. If you are stronger than me, I surrender. If I'm stronger than you, I oppress you. So in this case, there is need for Nigerian people to come together and then say, look, we've had enough of all this nonsense.
Thank you.
So that is just the introductory this now we say. Thank
you very much. I would like to thank everyone that has been part of this podcast. Those in the comment section. It's been an interesting discussion. Again, we're back on Friday to continue this discussion into the night. And thank you, everyone. Again, if you are listening, I don't know what I did wrong. My apology. Kenneth, I took you out last week, and there has been pressure from the. I've apologized to you in private, and received the same in the public. So,
thank you.
So, as it stands, we have to bring the show. Come again.
Are you shutting down? Are you?
Yes.
Why?
Please. Because that is a new regulation, 3 hours maximum, please.
But you told me after one person, there is my turn.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a program tomorrow. Sorry, KJ is holding.
No.
KJ
I have been waiting patiently.
Madam Echo, with due respect, please.
But with due respect, I waited patiently. I did.
It's the regulation on this platform going forward, not to exceed 3 hours. So,
electricity, please just let her have.
Not to 3 hours is done. Thank you very much. Have a lovely night. Thank you. I will see. KJ will be here tomorrow, and on Friday there's another time for us to discuss again. God bless you.
Electricity. This one appetizer you gave me now. I'm waiting for the main course. Which one?